although when he told them, they accepted what he said, and they freely chanted Hare Krishna. So, how could he refuse them? Of course, whether they would be able to preserve in Krishna consciousness despite the ever present attractions of Maya would be seen in time. Some would fall, that was the human tendency, but some would not. At least those who sincerely followed his instructions to chant Hare Krishna and avoid sinful activities would be successful. Swamiji gave the example that a person could say that today's fresh food, if not properly used, would spoil in a few days. But if it is fresh now, to say that in the future it will be misused and therefore spoil is only a surmise. Yes, in the future anyone could fall down. But Bhaktivedanta Swami took it as his responsibility to engage his disciples now. And he was giving them the methods which, if followed, would protect them from ever falling down. Aside from Vedic standards, even by the standard of Swamiji's New York disciples, the devotees in San Francisco were not very strict. Some continued going to the donut shop, eating food without offering it to Krishna, and eating forbidden things like chocolate and commercial ice creams. Some even indulge in some even indulge in this more. Some even indulge in after kirtan cigarette breaks right outside the temple door. Some got initiated without knowing precisely what they had agreed to practice. Kirtinananda, the mood in San Francisco was a lot more relaxed. The devotees liked to go to the corner and have their coffee and donuts, but Swamiji loved the way so many people were coming, and he loved the program at the Evelyn Ballroom. But there were two sides: those who strictly followed the rules and regulations and emphasized purity, and then those who were not so concerned about strictness, but who wanted to spread Krishna consciousness as widely as possible. Swamiji was so great that he embraced both groups. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So we will continue our study from Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, and text is 31. Yachaktayo vadatam vadinam vai Yachaktayo vadatam vadinam vai Vivada samvada bhuvo bhavanti Vivada samvada bhuvo bhavanti Kurvanti chesham muhur atmamoham कुर्वन्ति चेषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने यच्चक्तयो वदतां वादिनां वै विवादसंवादभुवो भवन्ति कुर्वन्ति चेषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने यच्चक्तयो वदतां वादिनां वै विवादसंवादभुवो भवन्ति कुर्वन्ति चेषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने यच्चक्तयो वदतां वादिनां वै विवादसंवादभुवो भवन्ति कुर्वन्ति चेषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने Please chant. यश्चक्तयो वदतां वादिनां वै विवादसंवादभुवो भवन्ति कुर्वन्ति चेषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने यच्चक्तयो वदतां वादिनां वै विवादसंवादभुवो भवन्ति कुर्वन्ति चेषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने Vaishnavis, please. यच्चक्तयो वदतां वादिनां वै विवादसंवादभुवो भवन्ति कुर्वन्ति चेषां मुहुरात्ममोहम् तस्मै नमो अनन्तगुणाय भूम्ने यच्शक्तयो whose multifarious potencies Vadatam speaking different philosophies Vadinam of the speakers Vai indeed Vivada of argument Samvada and agreement Bhuva the causes Bhavanti are Kurvanti create Cha and Esham of them the theories Muhu continuously Atmamoham bewilderment regarding the existence of the soul Tasmai unto him Nama my respectful obeisances Ananta unlimited Gunaya possessing transcendental attributes Bhumne the all-pervading Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, who possesses unlimited transcendental qualities. Acting from within the course of the hearts of all philosophers who propagate various views, he causes them to forget their own souls, while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. Thus, he creates within this material world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. I offer my obeisances unto him. Purport. Since time immemorial, or since the creation of the cosmic manifestation, the conditioned souls have formed various parties of philosophical speculation. But this is not true of the devotees. Non devotees have different ideas of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and therefore they are called Vadis and Prativadis, proponents and counter proponents. It is understood from the statement of Mahabharata that there are many munis or speculators. Tarko pratishta shrutaya vibhinna. Nashava rishir yasya matam na bhinnam. All speculators must disagree with other speculators. Otherwise, why should there be so many opposing parties concerned with ascertaining the supreme cause? Philosophy means finding the ultimate cause. As Vedanta Sutra very reasonably says, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, human life is meant for understanding the ultimate cause. Devotees accept that the ultimate cause is Krishna because this conclusion is supported by all Vedic literature and also by Krishna himself, who says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, I am the source of everything. Devotees have no problem understanding the ultimate cause of everything, but non devotees must face many opposing elements because everyone who wants to be a prominent philosopher invents his own way. In India, there are many parties of philosophers such as the Dvaitwadis, Advaitwadis, Vaisheshikas, Mimamsakas, Mayavadis, and Swabhavavadis, and each of them opposes the others. Similarly, similarly in the Western countries, there are also many philosophers with different views of creation, life, maintenance, and annihilation. Thus, it is undoubtedly a fact that there are countless philosophers throughout the world, each of them contradicting the others. Now, one might ask why there are so many philosophers if the ultimate goal of philosophy is one. Undoubtedly, the ultimate cause is one, the Supreme Brahman. As Arjuna told Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 10:12, Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all pervading beauty. Non devotee speculators, however, do not accept an ultimate cause, Sarva Karana Karanam. Because they are ignorant and bewildered concerning the soul and its activities, even though some of them have a vague idea of the soul, many controversies arise, and the philosophical speculators can never reach a conclusion. All of these speculators are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 16:19 to 20, Tanaham dvishata kruran samsarureshu naradhaman क्षिपामि अजस्रम अशुभान आसुरीष्व एव योनिषु आसुरीम योनिम आपन्ना मूढ़ जन्मनि जन्मनि माम अप्राप्येव कौन्तेय ततो यान्ति अधमाम गतिम. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. Attaining repeated birth among the species of demonic life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. Because of their envy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, non devotees are born in demonic families life after life. They are great offenders, and because of their offenses, the Supreme Lord keeps them always bewildered. Kurvanti chesham muhuratma moham. The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, purposely keeps them in darkness, Atma Moham. The great authority Parashara, the father of Vyasdev, explains the Supreme Personality of Godhead thus: Jnana Shakti Baleshwarya, Virya Tejasmi Asheshata, Bhagavat Shabda Vachyani, Vina Heyer Gunadivi. The demonic speculators cannot understand the transcendental qualities, form, pastime, strength, knowledge, and opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which are all free from material contamination. Veena Heyer Gunadivi. These speculators are envious of the existence of the Lord. Jagat Ahur Anishwaram. Their conclusion is that the entire cosmic manifestation has no controller, but is just working naturally. Thus, they are kept in constant darkness, birth after birth, and cannot understand the real cause of all causes. This is the reason why there are so many schools of philosophical speculation. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपां बुधिर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we continue our study. Uh, Daksha Maharaj is glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead after his penances and austerities, and he's continuing on with his glorification. And this is Vedic culture, which teaches us that before we embark on anything in our life, big or small, or especially anything which is a bit, say, anything which is of importance and value in the progressive evolution of one's consciousness, in progressive realization of happiness, in the attainment of one's aspiration, which is fully sublime, which is always joyful, which is very pure, not untainted by any material, say, modes, material thoughts, qualities, which is ultimately very beneficial to the body, mind, and soul. Say. So, before embarking on any such journey, uh, in Vedic literature, we get this inspiration that to perform some austerity, to perform austerity, because transcendental austerity purifies the heart, softens the heart, uh, and also to it helps to control the mind and senses. Definitely, that is the beginning of yoga. And take this opportunity to seek more blessings, to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in here, these verses, glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is continuously being chanted. And there are various degrees of the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Daksha He's glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Demigods we see so many places. Whenever they are in distress, they approach Lord Brahma and then they put forward their prayers to Lord Brahma to approach Lord Vishnu and then glorify Lord Vishnu, seeking shelter of Lord Vishnu. And this is the sign of a devotee, one who is seeking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And uh, devotees realize that when we glorify great personalities, when we glorify Mahajans, Mahatmas, saints, sages, when we glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what happens is our hearts become softened. The person's heart becomes very softened, soft, gentle, more mellow, and uh, unlike it is also observed when we glorify some personality within this earthly realm, someone who is our known to or someone who is not our known to as well, but okay, when we hear the glories of say those who are considered to be quite successful in their sphere of life, and when we hear about them and glorify about them, there's not a change of heart. It is not observed or seen that there's a huge change in heart. So much is seen, right? Like sometimes there's so many big singers, pop singers, music stars and all, and we get to know, okay, this is his or her handkerchief, and this he used it in the stage when he was playing a show, and he was sweating and he used it, and someone saves that handkerchief, it is put into auction for so much money. All such things happen, but the audience, we do not see that the audience is going through a real change in heart. Real change in heart meaning more soft, more tranquil, more peace, more free from anxiety, rather more indulgence into sense gratification and other activities, mostly illicit activities, which aren't actually a cure for the body, mind, and soul's elevation. But in here, when we glorify the Supreme Personality of God and glorify devotees, then uh, even though we are so faulty in our consciousness, but this is the kindness of Krishna that He allows us to yet glorify Him, even though we are so fallen, say. He still allows us that yes, we can glorify Krishna, carrying so many faults though. And He put aside the faults and gives us that peace in heart. Like Prabhupada, as we were reading in Lilamrita, he embraced both the groups. So yeah, it is very true. Prabhupada built a house in which practically the whole world can live. That huge is his heart. And in order to glorify as well, there is certain qualification required. There's certain qualification required in the practice of Krishna consciousness, or certain qualification required in the advancement in Krishna, in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Few things are very core which can never be given up, and as one practices one will naturally realize this. As one practices, like we went to Birmingham Kirtan Mela. Now when you attend a Kirtan Mela, Kirtan event, thing is, yes, there's a opportunity for absorption, samagam, right? There's a assembly of devotees coming around, and Krishna is present there. Machita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam, and devotees, they feel very relished. So there's a clear opportunity for absorption in that. And what happens when in Kirtan Mela events like this, then there's a natural natural, as one is listening to the sound vibration, one is chanting the holy names of Krishna, there's natural prayers simultaneously coming along with Kirtan. One might be sitting on dancing in Kirtan, and simultaneously one would be praying as well to Krishna. Then the desire, awakening in desire comes about simultaneously. a desire to be more subservient, to serve more, to be more in relationship with Krishna, to more have that, to become Vaishnava. That desire comes about, and prayers comes about, desire comes about, and more prayer to become more qualified. One of the Prabhupada embodiment of mercy, all qualification. But whenever he was asked by, say, reporters or people in general, Swamiji, you did a fantastic job, Prabhupada never took any penny's worth or credit for himself. No, his response was, oh, this is my Guru Maharaj's mercy, my Guru Maharaj's strength, my Guru Maharaj empowered me, this is my Guru Maharaj doing all the things. Or, well, this is my Guru Maharaj's mercy who has sent me such good disciples. My disciples are doing everything. Shishikoranita Mayapur Sashiki Jai. But he never took any credit for himself. And if at all, some occasions, if at all, he said, then yes, the only qualification he had is he never changed anything. Shishikoranita Mayapur Sashiki Jai. He never changed anything. He never invented anything. He was never triggered by this, oh, let me do something different, let me try something new. How about if I bring this? How about bring if I bring that? Uh, because Prabhupada is apaurushya. Shastra scriptures are apaurushya, something not of this mundane nature, mundane world, beyond this world. It's us conditioned souls who have this so much of tendency, okay, in order to seek some attention, the root cause is there is of attention, or as it says in purport as well, driven out of envy, uh, that we want to do something to come in limelight or be highlight just little bit here, this modification, that change, or this way or that way, so that yes, to bring our flavor into it. Krishna is unique, we all are unique, and Krishna will accept, he's ready to accept all our different flavors, provided they are in line with the tradition, they are in line with Guru Parampara, they are in line with the scriptures. It is the qualification of Prabhupada. He never went into any sort of arguments. And he brought forward the scriptures, he quoted throughout the scriptures, he presented Krishna as he is. As he is. Presented Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any adulteration, and throughout performed austerities. Otherwise, yes, there's so much of philosophers around the globe on YouTube in general. There's so many talks and all and all. We believe this, we believe that, and all. Prabhupada was not much in favor of using words like believe or think or opinion or in my consideration. You know, what Shastras say, that is what he quoted or throughout. Nowhere any deviation, nowhere there is any deviation. And as it says in the purport, philosophy means finding the ultimate cause. Philosophy means finding the ultimate cause. So, um, like a train, in train, say there are coaches A to J. Now, coach J could be pulled by coach I. It's connected to coach I. Coach I could be pulled by coach H, say like this and all. But ultimately, they are all pulled by the engine. The engine is there, and there is a driver who is pressing buttons, who knows the destination, who is taking them. So there is a remote cause and there is an ultimate cause. So there is an immediate cause, there is an ultimate cause. And Krishna is the cause of all causes. So uh, Krishna is beyond contradictions. Krishna is contradictory as well, not contradictory as well, and beyond. He's beyond everything. He has everything in himself, and then he's beyond as well of everything. So much of not information, so much of knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead there is in the Vedic literature, in Srimad Bhagavatam, that we will completely we can drown ourselves. We'll be in sync altogether, and none of this is by chance. It's not by chance that a 70-year-old person. What was the need for him to travel from India to all the way in a cargo ship, not in a luxury ship, in a cargo ship? Such long journey, seasickness, and all. And when he arrived in the US, he didn't have a good idea where to go, where not to go, and all. And life in, I mean, even now, those who come from India, say to UK or US for studies and all, um, how much they might be willing to getting a chance to go to US or getting a chance to go to the UK and all. Still, there is a huge say language difference, culture, food, time difference, and all these things. And what to speak, like Prabhupada came around that time. So there's a gulf of difference. There's a gulf of huge consciousness level, the mission, the vision, the understanding, the motive behind it, and all. So all this what just for chance how to get some gain some popularity. If we really wanted any sort of popularity, fan following or say fame and all, we would have like created some temples and must have been set somewhere in a Rolls Royce driving or was constantly maybe having grapes or strawberries with some yoga. You know, but working tirelessly. Yeah, so many philosophers. The thing is, we should appreciate life and we should see everywhere. We should see the beauty of Krishna, the intelligence of Krishna. How Krishna is providing so much of variety in life. This is one thing like one can try to comfort oneself. One can in because in our dealings with people outside people, because in our dealings say within friends and family and all, we will find there's some disconnect, there's some opposing elements and all. Huh? Or yeah, first of all we should never consider that okay we will get a ready-made material to come in and walk in and become a devotee altogether. No, and none of us I think were such a ready-made material. We are made devotees by the blessings of devotees only. Uh, but we practice devotional service in ourselves. We have some devotional service, but it is very dormant. It is hugely dormant, tremendously dormant. But it is seeing in the devotion in others. It inspires the devotion in us and awakens the devotion in us. So it's a very sort of say wrong expectation to carry that okay someone would come very clean fresh and altogether ready-made material and yes becoming a devotee in 2 days, unlike other places okay lose weight in 4 days or gain this computer knowledge in 5 days or this English course in this many days. So and this is all Krishna's arrangement to help us become a devotee, to help us become train ourselves, train our mind and senses. And this is how devotee should be, just like a carpenter, one who is expert carpenter. He is given wood, different sizes and things and all, and he knows what sort of wood he want, how to apply, how to use that different sort of wood and all, in order to make a good furniture, which is put to use, which can be made to good use. Likewise, us devotees as well, we should be very diligent in our dealings, how to deal with our mind and senses to begin with. To begin, the work always has to be done on oneself. Always. To begin with and throughout as well. I would be making a fool of myself if I'm sitting here and thinking that, okay, I'm giving a class here to you all or someone and trying to educate someone. It's all for It should be like if I become the first listener, if I become the first listener. So there are so many philosophers and all. Okay, fine, all are bringing a variety in Krishna's uh, creation, and Krishna has given everyone a free will. So different thoughts and different opinions and all. But all our thoughts, opinions, consideration, beliefs, they find their refuge. They easily find their shelter. They easily find their settlement at the lotus feet of Srimad Bhagavatam. Everything very neatly finds its resolve. A happy person is one who has resolve in life, one who is always in resolve. He's a very peaceful person. He's a very peaceful person. One who, even a drunkard, say, for that matter, or someone uh, having a very rough time or whatever, or by societal shape, one may not be in order. But if one has got resolve in his head, he's very peaceful. But a person who is in the mode of ignorance or passion, say, they might be having resolve in the head, but that resolve is not sustainable. That resolve is not lasting, long lasting. And devotees, when we practice Krishna consciousness, devotees would find their definitely resolve in the scriptures, in chanting the holy names of the Lord. And that resolve will help a devotee grow further and further, further and further to attain ultimate peace. Because devotees, see, there is such a charm in meeting devotees. Again, Birmingham Kirtan Mela, meeting so many devotees and all. There's a different charm altogether in meeting a devotee. And doesn't matter if we know the devotee from beforehand or not. If we meet someone devotee from coming from South Africa to here or Kenya to here, it will be, yes, we know each other. So when we shake hands with a devotee, when we hold hands of a devotee, and when we embrace a devotee, it's a different feeling altogether. It's a different experience, emotion altogether than say shaking hands. Perhaps if I got to shake hands with Boris Johnson or perhaps someone else, it's a real within family and friend circle as well. It's a real different feeling altogether. Any thoughts, Panchatattva Prabhu? Why is this such a real different feeling being in the association of devotees? And first of all, you agree, right? It's a
Yeah, it's very tangible, I would say, that you meet some devotee you've never met before, and then instantly you're friends, you know. Um, but yeah, I guess Krishna's in that relationship. That there's you, there's a devotee, and there's Krishna, and Krishna's very happy when devotees are getting on nicely, when devotees are talking about him and glorifying him. Uh, when Krishna's happy, then he's in the heart, and he's smiling, and then naturally we become happy as well. And yeah, it's interesting you mentioned touch. I wonder if you could maybe talk more, because devotees are quite touchy, you know.
yeah, they are.
uh, and I think it said Ambarish Maharaj engaged his body in touching the devotees.
yeah.
If you could maybe explain more about that.
Yeah. So Ambarish Maharaj says, right? Mukundalingalaya darshanadrishu tadbhritya gatra sparshanga sangamam granam cha tadpad saroj saurabhe Srimad Tulasya tadrasanam arpite. So yes, this prayer of Ambarish Maharaj that Mukunda Lingalaya Darshanadishu, taking darshan of Mukunda, of Krishna, of Vishnu, um, uh, and Tad Bhritya Gatra Sparsha Anga Sangamam, and the touch of devotees, touching the devotees. So it is all engaging all the senses in the service of Rishikesha, the supreme sense. Master of all the senses, engaging all our senses in his service. And it all begins with the mind. It all begins with the mind. And yeah, in this prayer, we see in Ambarish Maharaj's prayers, his glorification. It comes in ninth canto, fourth chapter. So, because Krishna is at the center of the heart, or is at the center of the life of a devotee, even though struggling devotee, even though still not practicing pure devotional service purely with that pure consciousness, understanding mood and all, still a devotee, neophyte or conditioned, whatever, but still a devotee. And devotees have found the resolve that yes, Krishna is in the center of my life, or I would like Krishna to be in the center of my life, and the other devotee as well. So, this is why they meet, when they unite, when they connect. There's no like friction or anything. No, there's such a, because it's not like a meeting of matter, it is a meeting of spirit all together. That harmony, that love, that joy. And when devotees meet as well with someone who is not yet found his resolve in practicing devotional service, still they give out compassion, they give out that mercy, that prayers, and that gentleness, that friendliness. So it's like devotees, they are not matter, with this matter consciousness. They are on a higher level of consciousness. So it's like spirit interacting with matter. Spirit will overpower. Spirit will overpower if we are in that spiritual consciousness. And this is the vision we need to develop, how to see beyond matter. Otherwise, the whole world is stuck up in material consciousness, matter consciousness. Why is there so much of racism in this world? Or any issue, if we can say we have resolved, any single issue, any crisis, water crisis, food crisis, health, job, money, employment, crime, fraud, uh, disparity, this gender inequality sort of thing. We are in 21st century. By now, we would have solved at least one crisis, I believe. One crisis, at least. What is it that we have solved? What? Nothing, none. Why? Why? No, we haven't found our resolve. We haven't found our shelter in Krishna. And without this, if we go on, we'll be banging our heads on the wall. So much development. Kali Yuga means hypocrisy, right? Maya means to fool us all together. Complete hypocrisy and like that. So, in the name of development, what is seen, okay, advancement and development, actually, it is more putting us on the back front altogether. It's more taking us away, hmm, in the name of development. Because real development is what? Development of consciousness. That is the real development. First of all, this is why we have to grow internally. If we grow internally, only then we will be growing externally. Otherwise, we are just trying to grow externally in a mode of passion and ignorance. And what are we bringing in society? Perhaps a bit more chaos, perhaps a bit more disunity. If we see the number of wars over the years, have they increased or decreased? The number of anything for that matter, say, so many such things. And the way the wars are being dealt now, wow, it's a different ball game altogether. I mean, earlier, World War One, or say previously, even before that, at least it was clear, okay, who is my enemy, who is coming to kill me, and all. And now, this economic war, that war, this way, that way. Anyways, all these things is we are still clueless. We are still not sure. And to add to this complexity, there's so much of illusion in the form of indulgence. Try me, have me, this will make you better, this will love yourself. So many such things and all. If we see advertisements, All big industries, makeup industry, huge industry, uh, such toys industry, huge industry, everything there. What to cater us to become happy? Yet we are not becoming so happy. There must be some missing link somewhere. And it's not like, as it says, there are so many different wadis, right? Dvaitwadis, Advaitwadis, Mimamsakas, Mayavadis, and Swabhavwadis, and all. So we are not this sort of wadis. We are not this sect that, okay, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. We don't go to Glasgow city center holding a placard without giving any alternate option, or like say, oh, um, we don't go and no, devotees don't preach it this way. Meat eating is wrong, stop meat eating, this will take you to hell. No, but we have seen devotees, what do? They go into streets, they put up stalls, and they distribute offered food, sanctified food, spiritual food. Come, take this. So straight away they bridge all the gap all together and bring one to the platform of uh, practicing devotional service. The world is looking for an alternate option, an alternate reality, which is genuine, which is real, which is natural, which can cure our heart altogether, which can give us again resolve, which can give us resolve. And the way the process of Krishna consciousness is Mahaprabhu's mission altogether. It's not like no to makeup, no, devotees don't say that, no to toys or anything for that matter, and no to technology, even no. Huh? We may be having so much of go at say technology, but still using a technological instrument, electrical instrument. So not no, no. It's because devotees understand what, who, everything belongs to Krishna. Who and what, everything belongs to Krishna. And we try to use it in the service of Krishna. And that ways we find more joy in life. We find more joy in life. And well, knowledge means something out of experience. So a devotee speaks on his realization, understanding scriptures, quoting scriptures, and one should at least give a fair shot. One should give a fair chance. Life is for experience, right? So why not experience the Krishna conscious life as well? One should give that as well as experience. Okay, I think I've crossed maybe time limit. So any questions, thoughts, or comments, or correction or clarifications, please?
Hare Krishna. Not any comment, but actually, I was reading yesterday chapter 10, Bhagavad Gita, and there uh, Prabhupada mentions very clearly that when we get the knowledge from an authority is basically coming from a display succession, then our knowledge get enlightenment. So getting mundane knowledge actually is binding us, as you said earlier, and the knowledge from spiritual, which actually is coming from the display succession from Vyasadeva and to all the time from Brahma as well, right? So that knowledge is actually going to enlighten us. And the relationship Prabhupada mentions there that this material body, we are trying to enjoy through material senses and material body, which is actually, and Krishna says, is dukkha vasasatam. So if material world itself is dukkha vasasatam, then how can it give us the highest pleasure? The real pleasure actually we can go by searching ourselves as uh, understanding our entity like jiva, and we are actually servant of Krishna. Jivara Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das. So when we understand that we are servant of Krishna, then actually we start performing devotional service to Krishna, and which actually is the highest and pleasure, right? And that Mahaprabhu also gave us like through chanting the holy name, associating with the devotees, associating with the books, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we can actually enlighten our own life and get more pleasure which we are seeking for. And I think Prabhupada Mahaprabhu actually he was mentioning that everyone is actually seeking for some pleasure. So the pleasure we are seeking in a wrong place in the material world, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why the Prabhupada mentions the importance of succession, succession. So when we are learning from a parampara, that has more impact rather than just going and searching for the knowledge from here and there, isn't it?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, we are definitely joy seekers. And how can it be understood or Krishna consciousness? These are joy seekers. Well, meet us this weekend in Glasgow and Edinburgh as well. This weekend, city center, we can see devotees jumping and dancing in and chanting the holy names of Krishna. Again, someone who is singing and dancing, which means that okay, yes, he's joyful. Uh, but why this singing and dancing is so joyful, or the it is sustainable. It gives, it frees one from anxiety. We may not be that good singer and dancers, or and certainly we are not good rappers. Agree, as we might see in pubs or clubs for that matter. But definitely devotees know how to deal with anxiety. It's not that devotees do not get anxieties. It's not that devotees do not get stress, but they know how to navigate, how to deal with stress, how to deal with anxiety, and how to go beyond anxiety. But on the other side, in pubs or clubs, say, there could be lots of high quality music going on, sophisticated instruments, and very uh, strong rapping going on, but and so much of say drinks and everything there, but then still there is some shallowness in the heart. So maybe I would close in here. Like, I love this quote by Prabhupada said, like, what, um, people have smiling faces but crying hearts. Smiling faces but crying hearts. And this is so true. This is so true. All we need to do is, if we can manage access, to tap into someone's shoulder, just tap into someone's shoulder, we can see what is inside. For ourselves as well, coming into Krishna consciousness, before coming into Krishna consciousness, we exert so much, showing in society that yes, I am also at par, I am also in the race, I am also successful, I am also good and all, trying to prove to be happy and all, trying to prove. And wherever we try to prove, we try to show or demonstrate and all, it's not natural. It's not. Krishna didn't. Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita do not require any proof. Krishna consciousness does not require any proof. The chanting of the holy names does not require any proof. Krishna didn't come to give any proof to anyone. The holy name, Prabhupada also didn't require to prove. But it is this, because it is natural, na? So something which is of the soul and natural doesn't require any proof. But we are so much in our mundane consciousness that we want to show that our value. Well, our real worth is when we are in relationship with Krishna. That is our real worth. So people have smiling faces but crying hearts. And coming into the process of Krishna consciousness, people can have smiling faces and smiling hearts as well. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your patient listening and encouragement. ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी।
His Grace Bhakta Ashish Prabhu Ki Jai.